Hey guys, welcome to LALoveCreative, and today we're talking about the Canon 85 RF 1.2 versus the Sigma 85 1.4. My thoughts in a fashion photo shoot. If you haven't, make sure you hit the bell so you can stay notified when we post new videos. Cue the intro. Now, I had a chance to test out basically two of my favorite lenses right now, the Canon RF 85mm 1.2 and the Sigma EF 1.4. Now, both of these lenses are very capable lenses. I was shooting a model in downtown Los Angeles at this really cool fashion location, fashion studio. Link in the description if you want to shoot here. It basically was like this royal, luxurious, it almost felt like a hotel suite, type location. And I thought this was a perfect location for me to test out the Canon RF versus the Sigma. I am a big fan of Sigma glass. Most of my Canon glass right now is Sigma. I think Sigma provides a high quality image, a great build quality, and an affordable price. And compared to the RF versions of these lenses, I would say that, RF is way too expensive for most of us. But I think Sigma is a great counterbalance to that if you're trying to get good image quality, but on a budget. Now, I know it's not a fair comparison to put these lenses together. The Canon RF is a 1.2 and the Sigma is a 1.4. Is that a big deal? If you are shooting like weddings or you're shooting low light stuff, that extra light could be a big determining factor if you want to decide to use this lens or the Sigma version. However, for me, I shoot weddings, I shoot fashion, but I shoot a lot of different scenarios, and having a lens that's 1.4 versus a 1.2 is not really a big difference in my opinion. I shot with this awesome model. Her name was Alexis. We were shooting some fashion, some lingerie. We're shooting all different types of things. So I got a really good chance to mess around with the lens, mess around with both lenses. Straight up, one of the things I really like about the Canon 85 RF is the autofocus. Now, I have said this probably on my channel a couple times. If you're using native RF lenses on your Canon EOS R6 or R5 or Canon C70, you're gonna get better autofocus than using a EF or a off-brand EF lens. I will say that the Canon RF 85 was just spot on. It was great when eye tracking. It just was really snappy and fast. I found myself using that lens more than the Sigma 85 because of that reason. However, the Sigma 85 autofocus has never gave me any problems. It's just the fact that I had this RF lens that was really snappy and the Sigma lens that was snappy, but it just was like, let's say I'll give the RF 85 a 10 and I'll give the Sigma 85 a 8.5. But if you're in a shoot, I think the Sigma 85 autofocus, especially in photography, is pretty good. And the RF lens is a little bit better, but I think both autofocus systems work really well. Speaking of focusing, I come from the Sony background. I was shooting a lot of stuff with my Sony cameras, the FX9. I was shooting with the A7 III. I was shooting in the Sony ecosystem for a while. One of the things I didn't like about Sony is the focus by wire system that a lot of these lenses use. That's why I actually gravitated to Sigma lenses, because I find that their manual focusing is really cool and it's smooth and it works really well. However, the Canon RF manual focusing is like butter. It is so smooth. There's something about the smoothness of the Canon R85, that manual focus ring, man, I could do that all day. I'm just gonna do this the whole video. Image quality, I am a big fan of the Sigma ecosystem. I have the 24, I have the 35, I have the 50, I have the 85. I plan on getting more. I have the 24 to 70. I plan on getting more Sigma lenses in the future. I think Sigma creates really sharp and just beautiful color rendition with their images and just awesome lenses. I think for their quality, when I compared like a Canon L series lens to a Sigma art lens, I really can't tell the difference, and there's a big price difference there. However, I will say the Canon RF lenses are a little higher step in quality, and let me explain why. When I was shooting with the Canon 85 RF, I found that it was a tad bit sharper that might be a big deal breaker for you. You might go, oh, I need the sharpest lens on the block, and that's what I want. For me, I'm not really, as long as things are in focus, I'm not really that sharp. Like, I'm not like crazy about sharpness. I kind of like things to be not as sharp, but not as sharp. If you're looking for the sharpest lens, then I would go the Canon 85. The Sigma 85 is very sharp as well. I used to think Sigma art lenses were like super sharp, like on another level. And now I'm messing with the Canon RF 85 and I'm like, oh damn, there's even another level of sharpness. But with image quality, I'd have to say color rendition. This Sigma 85 handles colors really well. And the Canon 85 RF handles colors really well, so you're not going to be disappointed with either one of them. It's just a little bit of sharpness that might give the leg up to the Canon 85 RF. Build quality. One of the things about the Canon RF system in general is they are very heavy and bulky lenses. Like heavy, like at one point I was shooting with the model and she's like, why's your hand shaking? And I'm like, just because it's very heavy and I'm using a very heavy lens and I don't really have a lot of muscle. The Sigma 85 is a very heavy lens as well. That's one of the reasons why I don't use it as much. I tend to use my 24-70 2.8. I'll use a 35 millimeter Sigma. I'll use a 50 millimeter Sigma. I tend to use those lenses more than the 85. Just because how heavy it is. I don't really care about like the customizable rings on the RF lenses. That's not really my thing. I've used it, but it's just not my thing. Not to justify like the price. I'm like, I don't really need that. I found myself shooting with the RF more just because it was snappier with autofocus and image quality was a little sharper. But I will say when I put these images in post and I started editing them and kind of messing around with colors, both had great color rendition. And I never found myself favoring one image to the other. And I really could barely tell the difference when I really put them in post. So keep that in mind when you're picking, between these two lenses, that when you actually get things into Lightroom, you're probably not going to really be able to see the difference, in my opinion. Now, which lens should you buy if you're looking for an 85 millimeter lens? If you want the top of the line, snappier autofocus, sharper lens with a really super buttery smooth focus ring, then obviously go with the Canon 85 RF. If you're looking for image quality that's sharp enough, great autofocus, good build quality, and an amazing image, I would go the Sigma 85 and save a lot of money, pretty much more than half. The Sigma 85 is about $1,100. The Canon RF 85 is $2,700. That's the same price as my Canon EOS R6. So for me, I won't be buying any RF lenses anytime soon. I just don't at the moment see the costs breakdown analysis or whatever. Now that's all I have to say about these two lenses. If you have any questions about videography or photography, hit me up in the comments below and I will see you next time. See you later.